The best way I can describe V is as an assignment that you would have passed with an A+. Bad news, you turned in the assignment an entire 3 months late. I guess, overall, she's technically not a bad character, but I can't find myself genuinely liking her due to her lazy writing. The scene that highlights my biggest problem with her is her sacrifice. V's last lines are, "Uzi, I trust you." This is meant to show us how V has changed, while giving us an incredibly interesting line. Trust Uzi to give N the love V couldn't give him? Trust Uzi to stop herself from being possessed in a more lethal way? It's very interesting. So, surely the build-up to her sacrifice includes a lot of V and Uzi interactions. V and Uzi first have a proper conversation in Heartbeat, starting off with V taunting Uzi before V hints towards the workers not being as innocent as they seem. This interaction is never mentioned again though, and has no effect on Uzi and V's relationship. The prompting, despite not giving V and Uzi much dialogue together, does a good job at showing V's views on Uzi change. She goes from wanting to tear Uzi's head off to looking conflicted when Uzi says they have to work together. V kills Doll, most likely to stop them from finding more about the solver, leaving Uzi annoyed but not defeated. They go to Doll's room where Doll fails to ambush them due to Uzi's solver activating. The prompting doesn't show us much, but it is promising. Hopefully, Uzi and V can develop a proper relationship in the next episode. In Cabin Fever, V goes along with helping Anna watch over the campers, a writing decision that feels like it was shoved in, but this video isn't a Cabin Fever focused video, so... Uzi goes investigating and finds V. V, noticing how lonely Uzi looks, decides to rub it in that nobody likes Uzi and decides to tell her that N secretly makes out with his pet rocks at 3 a.m. After, N saves V and calms Uzi down by telling her that he was just following the trends. V realizes N is a simp and can't hurt Uzi because what did you say about Pokemon? V smiles, seemingly her first genuine smile in the series. I suppose it was because of Lizzie, but did she just forget that her goal to kill Uzi failed and Uzi is closer to being taken over by the solver? Not the time to be smiling. V decides to cover up Uzi's murders. Why? Probably because of N, but up to this point, V and Uzi have never had a genuine conversation. She didn't have sympathy when she saw Uzi seemingly snapping out of the solver's possession. V has no reason to cover up Uzi's murders. She has never once shown us on screen that she feels sympathy to Uzi for having the solver. The only time we've seen V not look at Uzi like she wants to commit a murder is in the prompting, where Uzi says they have to work together. That's more likely her feeling guilty for working with Sin instead of her feeling bad for what Uzi's going through though. Then again, V covering up murders is completely forgotten about because this series is more lazily written than I am trying to make myself write this script. Home gives her rarely any screen time, and all we learn is gasp. V and Anna liked each other romantically? Truly a shocking plot twist. V pulls out a chainsaw on Uzi, and that's the end of V for Home. You know, Home, the episode that's supposed to explain V's backstory and why she's so afraid of it. Dead end, V does nothing but tag along until the scene where Uzi gets possessed. She is terrified that Sin is back, and after managing to free herself and just nearly avoid the Sentinels, she doesn't kill Uzi. But this is literally the perfect chance to do it. V and Uzi have had no interactions that have ended positively. V not killing Uzi is by far the most laziest thing that happens in Dead End. I mean, surely they can't get lazier than this. Zenvi sacrifices herself. I'm sorry, are you not experienced in mass genocide? Have a nanite acid tail and your hands can turn into freaking lasers. Wow, good job, V. This sacrifice feels earned. I'm clapping, yay! The Sentinels can boot loop drones and may be a little stronger, but besides that, killing them would just be as easy as killing a worker. To quickly debunk the V knew Tessa was Sin, so she was making Sin think she was dead argument, Tessa says, "We'll save V after we finish here." Sin isn't stupid enough to think V actually died from the dingoes. And it leads nowhere since V never uses her fake-out death to trick Sin anyways. And what makes her last lines worse, Uzi has done nothing to earn V's trust. She should be saying, "N, I trust you," acknowledging that N knows about the past, but he isn't afraid like her, and V trusts him that whatever he finds out, he won't be like her and follow orders out of fear, that N will keep his optimism and set them free of their dream. But instead, we have V trust Uzi, the drone who has the solver and could snap and destroy the entire world. N used to have a crush on V. and no longer has a crush on a V. That's their entire relationship. Damn, those rewrites go crazy. Alright, Envy shippers. I might as well try to understand this ship. From the pilot, it's implied that V ignores N, most likely due to not wanting to get too close to N because she's scared of N getting too close to the truth. However, N still shows that he loves V. In Heartbeat, we do get a flashback showing V and N being in love with each other, but beyond that, he hardly shows any signs of loving V, just simply putting up with her existence. V does show she cares about N though, choosing to stay with him instead of leaving him when her chain is broken. In the promenade, he doesn't let V commit murder, and when offered the chance for it to just be him and her, he doesn't even consider the offer. Very sloppy writing. Then he tells V that she sucks. What changed his mind? He always knew V killed workers and was mean. After all, V did always ignore him. V has done nothing besides what she usually does to N, but now he's not okay with it? In Cabin Fever, V and N are arguing, with N refusing to acknowledge that V has a point. To be fair, V is refusing to explain anything to him, so V isn't really doing a good job at convincing N to help her. After N throws Uzi into the sky, he scolds V before leaving, V not really having a real reaction to it, simply being annoyed. V decides against killing Uzi because N's a hardcore simp to get on the bus, and that's the end of V and N for Cabin Fever. I guess it makes sense why he wouldn't want to have a heart-to-heart with V, since when he did ask her what she was afraid of, V denied being afraid, which gave no reason for N to try and get her to open up anymore. But still, even a little chat between them that isn't a joke or an argument would have gone a long way for V's development. In Home, V is barely there, and all we learn is that V and N were probably in a romantic relationship. Something we already knew from Heartbeat's intro. It's crazy how Heartbeat's intro somehow tells us almost as much as Home does about the past. It would have been sweet though if N and V took a second to chat about their past, without Uzi, just V coming to terms with the fact N knows the truth now and, you know, maybe actually have them talk about their feelings towards each other. In Dead End, V and N hardly interact. We only get V being mad that N was told something by Tessa and N screaming at her to get into the elevator. V and N's relationship is some major wasted potential for both V and N. A chance to explore V's views on the past and how she copes with the trauma, and a chance to give N a good relationship with someone who isn't emo is completely ruined. In the finale, V comes back, therefore ruining any emotional weight from her sacrifice. Was this writing decision worth it? The finale does give V a moment that is everything V could have needed. It shows her caring about N, revealing why she ignored him, V crying, clearly showing us how badly Sin has traumatized her, to the point where she's willing to rejoin Sin's side based off how terrified she is of Sin and what she'll do to N. That expression on her face when N is almost consumed by Sin, that panic breathing, V regretting all her decisions. Why couldn't she just follow Sin's plan? A couple thousand workers and years of loneliness was worth it to keep N alive, and now he's gonna be swallowed by the monster that took her whole life away. Without a line of dialogue, it is incredible. V is very clearly at her best in this episode. Out of context, that is. But putting it in context, this is the freaking finale. V is painfully overdue in the finale. As amazing as V is in episode 8, when putting it together with the rest of the series, it feels like Liam remembered V was supposed to be important and casually threw in Volway scene. My main problem with V's sacrifice is that it's meaningless. There's no build-up for her character, her relationship with Uzi and N is half-cooked, and then add on the fact that V comes back anyways. What's the point in having her sacrifice herself? My best guess on why Liam would do this is because he couldn't think of a better way to use V. He didn't want to give V her vengeance, so he killed her off and rushed her in an amazing scene in the finale. V's sacrifice will forever taint my view on V's entire character. V isn't the kind of character who should be a side character. She deserves more attention as she's a very interesting character. After everything the series has done with her, V comes off as rushed and is the most confusing character in the series.